Thank you for joining me today in this demonstration of Midnight Blitz Update 1.7 for MetaTrader 4. So this is going to be a demonstration of the MetaTrader 4 version 1.7. I'm going to just go over the new settings in this update. They're very easy, much easier than the last one. There's no copying and pasting anymore of the symbols. Now you can select a symbol suffix, and let me just get right into that for you. The first thing I want to do is just look at the settings, explain to you what exactly has changed for the better. You'll notice in the top I have instructions in here. Please pay attention to these instructions. The 5-minute time frame only. Do not load old settings in this version because we have that new symbol suffix setting I'll show you in a minute. Your broker terminal must align with 5 p.m. as 00 Eastern Standard Time. If you don't understand what that is, most likely if your broker is GMT2 or 3, it will usually work. Contact me. If it's not, we'll give you a different setting file. There's very few of you that are going to need a setting file because most of them are going to be fine. But just in case, I could modify the time real quick for you in a setting if we need to. Take a look at down here. There's a setting in here called Do Not Hold Trades Over the Weekend. I defaulted this to not hold trades over the weekend. If you backtest this with false, you may find that your profits go up quite a bit. That's because it does work most of the time, according to the backtest. But a lot of people are just afraid to hold it over the weekend because they're going to be holding pretty much a floating loss over the weekend, and it gets them afraid that the spread's going to jump on them on Sunday night, and it will snap you out of the trade and loss. But so I just left it for safety reasons. I left it true to not hold it over the weekend, so you won't see that happen unless you put it false. Use market orders instead of limit orders is true. If you change this to false, it's going to use limit orders, and they both work very well according to the backtest. You don't have to worry about these settings. This is the spread for market order. I put it at 4 pips, 40 points. Don't worry about these settings here. They're all optimal. These are all optimal too. What I want you to pay attention to here is the new stuff. Use multi-symbol. Whenever you backtest, you can't backtest a MetaTrader 4 with multiple symbols. So you're going to have to backtest for whatever chart you just loaded in Strategy Tester. And we're going to do that in a moment, and I'll show you how to do it. But when you're trading live, you want to select this, use multi-symbol, and select true. It's going to automatically trade all 20 of these symbols. No more copying and pasting like we were doing before and adding your suffixes manually or grabbing setting files from me. Now, if you have a suffix, like let's say, for instance, you have .raw, you just put .raw there and automatically add it to the end of every pair here. If you have just no dots and it's just A, you just put an A in there, like Euro USD A. If it's a .A, then of course you're going to put .A. Hope you understand that. It's very easy and straightforward. The lot sizing is right below that. You'll see that it's fixed lots, 0.01. I recommend using 0.01 lots when you first trade with this. You want to get a feel for it to make sure that it's going to profit over 2 or 3 weeks before you start messing around with increasing the lot size or using auto lots here, where you trade $200 for every 0.01 is $200 in balance. When you are ready, what I look at is about 100 for every 0.01 is pretty aggressive. I have it set at 200 because it's more conservative. I always recommend clicking reset before you load any settings. And like I said, you might not even need any settings for this, but I will have a couple settings for limit orders and a couple small variations. Okay, now for the test I'm about to do, I'm going to just run a fixed lot of 0.3 because we're only testing one pair. So I can do that. But remember, on a live setting, you don't want to do this. I'm just doing it for demonstration purposes because we're going to trade just one pair with this strategy. It won't open up as many trades because it's just using one pair. When you trade 20 pairs live, you'll have a better chance of having a trade open almost every day. You go down here, I got some instructions here because the new default setting is going to trade only 30 minutes a day, 15 minutes on the first hour, 15 minutes on the second hour. If you want to trade the full hour, I have instructions on how to do that. You just change this setting to 0. Just go like that, 0. From 45 to 0, this one here, change to 59. You change this 15 to 59, and bam, you can trade all to a full 2 hours. I changed it because you're going to get more trades, more losses, and more profits when you trade the full 2 hours. Some people want to do that, but I put it more conservative, so you're only trading 30 minutes a day so that you have a better chance of winning instead of having floating losses. So your choice is yours. It's very easy to change it to go back to 2 hours, like in the last version we had. All right, well, the rest of this is pretty easy. There is a take profit reduction feature. We're not going to get into it in this video, but it is a little experimental. I've never tried it on a live account. It does very well on a back test. I'm not sure about it on a live account yet because it will reduce your take profit. Like if you change this to, you'll see it says here change to M30, and you change it to M30, and you put a 1 here, for instance, right? 1 in this reduction, it'll reduce it by 1 pip every 30 minutes. So it'll go from 5 pips take profit to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1 until eventually it's just a break even after a couple hours. Why is that? Why did I add that? Because sometimes I've noticed on the live accounts, for some reason the market wants to sit at 2 pips profit for an hour. That's unacceptable. Why not just grab your 2 pips and get out already, you know? So this thing will wiggle its way down if it's sitting too long in profit. We don't want to just sit there at 2 pips and 3 pips for an hour. Why not get out? But default, it's deactivated in default. We can look at that later and see if it helps in the future. Stop loss reduction is already set for MetaTrader 4. MetaTrader 5, you have to manually enter in these variables here. The deduction rate is here, and then you have the speed up SL deduction rate 3. After the second hour, it starts speeding up. So let's go ahead and do this back test. Like I said, I'm going to go back into the lot size. We're just going to change it to a fixed lot 0.3 and click OK, and let's click start here. I'm not going to do a visual mode on this because it takes too long for the video's sake, and so we're just going to run a little graph here. We're going to test it from, and by the way, let's go back into this. Select your pair, select your the expert advisor, select your symbol. I'm using Euro Australian dollar. Again, Euro Australian dollar. Tick data settings. I'm actually using Tick Data Suite. I'm using Use Tick Data here. I'm using Variable Spread. It's more realistic into live conditions. Period M5. I'm doing this from January 3rd, 2021 to April 24th, 2021. Using every tick and visual mode off. And let's get going. Click Start. And let's see how it trades. I will talk a little bit because I don't want any silence on the video, because we are going to sit here and watch this for a few minutes and see how the graph looks. You also got to keep in mind that we are trading one pair because we can't backtest more than one pair in MetaTrader 4. That's a limitation in it. MetaTrader 5, if you want to get a feel for how it trades 20 pairs in a backtest, download MetaTrader 5, get the demo, and just use the demo to backtest and have fun with that, because it is more fun backtesting in MetaTrader 5 with multiple currencies. There's no doubt about it. This is just going to trade one pair. It's not going to open up that many trades because the robot is actually designed to trade all 20 pairs, and some days pairs are not going to open a trade. So to get a feel for it, you can go ahead and back test one pair at a time and see how they all do, but just keep in mind that you're going to have multiple pairs opening on some days. And let's take a look at this now. We are now started out at 1,000. We're at $37 profit in a couple of weeks. We started at a 0.3 lot size with a $1,000 starting balance. And let's see how much time this takes. We're now at an $88 profit now. We're almost at about a 10% profit in 1 month on one pair. Now, if you do the math in your head, you'll see that trading 20 pairs would be a lot better than that. But also keep in mind I'm using an aggressive lot size right now, and you certainly don't want to use 0.3 lot size on 20 pairs on a $1,000 account, because you might throw a margin call. You might not be good for your broker or your leverage. Let's keep going here. It's at a $122 profit in a month and a third, almost a month and a half now. Now we're over a month and a half, and it's 1,024. Waiting to see if there's going to be a loss, and there is one right there. There is a loss. About a 30. Let me see how big that loss was. That loss was $19. Remember, I'm using a 0.3 lot size, so every pip is $1. I'm sorry, every pip is $3 here. So just 6 pips loss was $19, right? But what we're looking at here, and also, is the stop loss reduction. If you notice, that was the stop loss reduction at work, because with a 6 pip loss, that's only because the stop loss actually reduced itself all the way down there. Otherwise, it would have took an 85 pip loss if it didn't move. So the stop loss reduction is extremely important in this strategy. So as you can see, it's working itself back in. It recovered and surpassed the loss. We're going to keep going here. We're into March now, and we're almost at 20% profit with $181 now. And we're going to keep going. I will keep rambling on so the video doesn't have silence and gets boring for you. Here we go. Now, there's also something else I want to tell you about. There's going to be a limit order setting and a market order setting I'm going to provide. You can do this yourself, but I did it for you. It's going to have a different magic number for the market order. It's going to have a different magic number for the limit order. You just load a 5-minute chart for Australian, Canadian dollar, or whatever pair you want. You put it on there, and then you load another one. You load the first setting on there, and then you load the second one on another chart. Just 2 charts. Enable all 20 pairs, and you can trade both market orders and limit orders. They both work well in the back testing, and they also will give you a little bit more chances of more trades opening, allow you to see more trades open if you're only trading, especially when you're only trading 30 minutes a day. So let's see where we're at now. The back test is just about complete now, and we are now at almost a 25% profit at $234 here. And let's see. We took 1 loss here, and we are done. If you notice, we have a 99.9% tick quality using Tick Data Suite and variable spread. Net profit of $234. Profit factor 12.75 is amazing. And we have a drawdown of 8% with that heavy lot size that we had there. Obviously, a smaller lot size would have had a much less drawdown, but we did have an $87 drawdown in this. But we didn't take any $87 losses. I think the biggest loss was $19. So obviously it was 8% drawdown with a heavy aggressive lot size. That's it. I hope this video helps. Contact me in the Telegram group for any support that you need. I'm always available as much as I can be available. Of course, there's things that come up where I just can't be available, but I constantly checking Telegram to answer your questions Happy trading.